What's up, everybody? It's your boy Devon Taylor here, aka Deezus, and this is my podcast. This is Deezus Take the Reel. To answer your first question, no, this is not a religious podcast. Unless movies are your religion, then yes, consider me your Lord and Savior. Yeah, so you're in my world now, fuckers. We're about to talk movies, talk life, and all sorts of other things. In case you did not realize it, this will be a mature audience podcast, explicit language ahead. This is unfiltered, talking life, movies, and I have a special guest here today. It is Tess Devine.
Hello.
Tess Devine is a very good friend of mine. We've known each other for a couple of years now.
Yeah. And
it's kind of funny. It's always just been through randomness.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah.
Random mutual friends, Gailies, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tess Devine is a comedian, improver, writer, all sorts of stuff. So she's a very creative person and has some really interesting thoughts. And I'm really excited to get into our topic today, storytelling. But so Tess, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I've tired, but you know what's new?
Yeah, nothing's new. Nothing new.
Everyone is tired as far as I know.
Breakfast diner world.
Right? Yeah.
We're just tired all the time. I was gonna take a nap earlier today, and then I came home. I finished my laundry, and I really was. I was playing games, doing my side work today.
Nice.
Like I was first cut, and I probably could have been gone by like 10:30 or 11, and I was there by like. I was still there at like noon, like 12:15. I'm like, what am I fucking still doing here, guys? Like, I should be gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, just one of those days.
It was kind of lazy Monday. It didn't even feel like a Monday to me. That's the thing.
For sure. And I usually have Mondays blocked off always. I like having Mondays off. Mondays is like my me day. Because I know everybody else hates Mondays, so I fucking love Mondays.
I actually really like Mondays too. It's a good like getting stuff done day.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of one of those things that like people just automatically get that negative connotation with Mondays. Like, man, today's gonna suck just because it's Monday. It's like, if you make your Mondays dope, then your Mondays are gonna be dope.
Of course, it's all about the attitude.
There you go. Deezus Take the Reel. That is your lesson for the day. Make Mondays dope.
Make Mondays dope. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yes. Hashtag make Mondays dope. So, the first segment is who the hell are you? Because, you know, I may know who you are, but the rest of the world doesn't know who you are. So, the way this works is first I'll give you a chance to describe yourself, and then I'll describe you. And then we'll get into some. Okay. We'll get into some games. Well, all not games, just some questions after that. So, Tess, tell the people, who the hell are you?
Who the hell am me? Well, I'm a writer. I'm a comic. I'm severely feminist. I am a cat mother. Did I mention introverted? I'm introverted. I think I may have repeated that one again. I'm also repetitive. You know, and I think that's kind of me in a nutshell. I always say first and foremost, I'm a writer though, and a performer. So yeah,
it's it's kind of the way. It's like I don't like to say like us people or like we, as in like creators, artists, like whatever you want to call them these days. Like I know it sounds weird when you say that, but it's like if you are or aren't that type of person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you kind of have to be open about that. And you definitely, I think you actually covered it pretty well. The only reason we do it this way is because Tyler, when I asked him to describe himself, he said, I'm just a normal weird guy. That was it. That's all he gave me.
Wow. I mean, what a great chance to promote himself there. And he was just like, nope.
You would think Tyler of all people. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we were fucking stoned as hell though.
Yeah.
And you can tell at the beginning of the episode. Another reason I love it. I'm so excited for it. But and I guess the only thing I'd add in there is I think you're a thinker. That's what I like about you in our conversations. You're very just open. You have a pretty much, for the most part, positive outlook on everything, but you know when shit's real though.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be the only thing I'd add on. Well, you're a thinker.
I am a thinker. I would agree with that. I am a thinker for sure.
Sweet. Well, so you're a thinker, you're a writer, but you are a comic. You know, you urged me to try stand-up, and then I started stand-up, and that was awesome, and now I really like stand-up, so
cool.
So we do connect on that level.
Yes.
We both appreciate comedy, And so being comedians, something that I think of, because I watch a bunch of stand-up specials, right, on Netflix and stuff. What I always think of is, how would I do my Netflix special? So that's the question for you is like, so where would you want to have it? Like, what would be like the flow? Would there be like a skit at the beginning? Like, what's your intro music? Like, describe Tess's Netflix special.
Okay. Well, first thing, I think for me, I like intimate venues. Like just in general, when I go to a concert, music concert, when I go, when I pretty much anything, like a smaller intimate venue, I feel like you connect better with, with the audience. And so I would probably want to, kind of keeping in touch with my St. Louis like roots, I'd want to probably do it at I don't know, not necessarily
at the pageant.
Not at the pageant. I feel like that's too big of a venue. Actually, like
really?
like maybe the Duck Room, like in the U City Loop. Have you been to the Duck Room? I think that's where. Trying to think who Chuck Berry performed there.
I don't think I've been there. No,
it's beneath Blueberry Hill though. It's like in the downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't been there, but I know of the place. I've been to a lot of other places. They just opened a place called the Riot Room. That's also pretty small.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that too.
And the Ready Room, not
Ready
the Riot
Room. Yeah, Riot Room's in KC. That's right.
Yeah, and then Cicero's is like super small, but like every once in a while they get like these really good performers there, so that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. So I would definitely want a smaller venue. Smaller venue. But my intro music would probably be, I really like funk music. Like I'm a big fan, like a highlight, I didn't go this past year, but one of my highlights around April, May, is my mom and I, we go to Beale Street Music Festival. And last year we saw George Clinton from Parliament perform, and he did Flashlight, and I was like so happy. Pretty much,
awesome.
Yeah, so pretty much any kind of funk band. Like I'm a real big fan of Cooking on Three Burners. There's a Latin funk band called Brownout. I really like listening to them.
Brownout as in like shit your pants? Is that what they imply by that name?
Well,
that's what I'm getting.
I hadn't thought about that, but it's probably, I figured, because I know it's like a brownout it's not like a blackout where all the lights go out.
Isn't brownout when you black out but you shit your pants because you're so drunk?
I guess so. I never heard this phrase before, so
I think I'm gonna look this up on Urban Dictionary. Okay, so we're gonna keep describing your stand-up while I Google that.
Yeah. So, but I would definitely want some kind of funk music as my intro music. And I guess because it's like, it kind of harkens back to one of my favorite specials from Lewis, is like a Lewis Black special. It was I want to say Stark Raving. I think it's Stark Raving Black. I think that's the one. And he does it it sounds like a really intimate venue, and he's just talking it just seems like he really connected with that audience when you listen to it. He does a bit about Minnesota, which is, it's still one of my favorite bits. Like I can listen to that over and over again and I crack up. But yeah, it was kind of a smaller venue, and it wasn't like, you could tell it wasn't, I don't know. It just, I felt like the connection there was very genuine, and it could never be replicated in a bigger venue. Like that's the thing about like a place like the Pageant or the Fox or the Gloys. It's like, they're great theaters. They're beautiful theaters. And, and of course they have a, huge capacity, but you do kind of lose that element of connecting with the audience. So I would personally want an intimate venue. And I'm trying to think what else. We got music, we got venue, and what were the other parameters?
No, just I guess that's about it. Like, would you have like some kind of skit at the beginning?
Oh,
like,
yeah. I don't think I would.
Because, some of the Netflix specials, they have like pre-recorded like skits.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think I would. I don't know. I like... See, the thing is, it's like, I like writing skits, but I don't really want to act in a skit. So for me, because I'm like, I'd have to act in it. So I probably would I would try to do my Netflix special as like a full circle ending, though. I always loved like the full circle ending kind of type stories and stand-up bits.
All right, well, that's pretty cool. Let's see. For my stand-up special, what would be the title?
Ooh, see, it's so easy to do something like with a play on my name, because my last name's Devine. Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know what it would be. It would probably be something like, I don't know. I always kind of liked, Higher Power, because that's like when Jason and I had our Higher Power podcast. Like, I liked doing that whole play on words. So I would probably do something like, I don't know why I'm blanking out right now. This is terrible, but I probably would do something clever like, Simply Divine, or it sounds so shitty though.
No. I mean, you have to. I mean, if you have the opportunity, then you have to take it by playing around with your name. I do something similar because Deezus, yes, that nickname appreciates my inspiration, Yeezy himself.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I gotta take the Jesus puns when I can, especially since I'm like an agnostic type, so it's like of course I gotta use those puns whenever I can.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
So it have something to do with it, but I think I'm here to save you. I think that would probably
save you.
Just because it's like it just, I don't know, it feels very me.
And I could see like the picture of you like doing a little prayer position.
But I'm in all black though.
Oh yeah.
With like only the little devil on my shoulder, like there's like a vacancy sign on my other shoulder or something.
For rent.
Yeah, I think that's the route that I'm gonna go.
I like that.
I'd probably do a skit at the beginning because I do, even though like, because I'm not like you, I'm not a writer. Like I don't like all the things like the like little skits that I do at the beginning of my YouTube videos. I don't write those. I don't really plan them. I just kind of do it. Like I wouldn't say I'm an improver either, 'cause I've never actually done like formal improv, but like that's how I do my skits and stuff. So it'd be something similar like that, that I'd like have like them like record it like in one take and just kind of be like a thing.
Yeah.
But then whenever I come out though, I do the pageant 'cause I think it's the perfect combination of it's large enough for a lot of people, but at the same time it's still intimate and you can have interaction there. Yeah. Because like I gotta have people. Like I'm a like one of the people. Like the more people, the better. Like the more comfortable I feel, and I kind of like feed more off the energy that way.
Interesting.
So it's like I like having more people watching, and so but I'd come out so hype because like my show would be like my show's gonna be a lot of energy. Like it's gonna be a lot of yelling for no reason.
Of course, yeah.
So Black Skinhead by Kanye off his Yeezus album. I think is the only choice for me to come out to my comedy special. So
that seems
so that's what it looks like.
Great.
Get at me, Netflix.
Yeah.
I've only performed 4 times like in my life. Come at me.
You got it figured out. So
I got nothing but confidence. Let's go, Netflix.
It's like I'm ready to go.
Once I see those zeros on the check, I'll be good.
Cool.
Get at me, Netflix. All right, so and then I wanted to still talk about a little bit more stand-up stuff. So do you have a favorite stand-up comedian or a favorite special?
So my favorite, I would say it's probably a toss-up between Marc Maron, who, I feel like I relate a lot to Marc Maron, just in the sense that he is also an introvert. He also has 3 cats. Like I've tried to read books and I've watched his show Maron, like kind of like on and off, sort of sporadically.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like I have to kind of stop watching the show or put the book down because it's just, he'll say something and it's just eerily relatable to me and it kind of freaks me out. So
like kind of getting like a deja vu. You're just
it's like this man is like my mother's age and yet here I am relating to him on a creepy
shit's
level.
Just getting too real.
It's too real. It's way too real.
I've had movie experiences like that. I'm like watch a movie and it like hits home like at the right time and I'm like, oh shit, shit just got way too real for a sec.
It is. It's way too real. So I just have to I have to put it down. So I feel like on that level and he too, he likes to perform in smaller venues for the most part. And so I feel like I really relate to him and his sense of humor is just spot on. And of course I do, I really like Aisha Tyler because I feel like she is just someone who does so many things. She hosts 2 shows. She's an actress on a TV show. She also is a stand-up comic. She's a video, she's a gamer. She has a podcast and, her own podcast. And she's just a busy woman. And what I like about her is that her humor is nerdy and intelligent. And I feel like she doesn't really get the recognition she deserves because she is a very intelligent woman. She went to Stanford, or not Stanford. No, it was Duke. Was it Duke?
Those highly intelligent people are like some of the coolest people to talk to. Like, especially like when they aren't the snobby Harvard type when they're like, you know, the real, like the behind closed doors Harvard type. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. I think she's really, I like her intellect. I like her sense of humor. And I like that she's kind of unapologetically nerdy. Like, I feel like that there are some people out there who are like, I'm a nerd. And they're like, it's so embarrassing. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah. Like, real nerds don't have to tell you that they're nerds. It's just
exactly. Like, she's just like, you know, doing her thing.
You know you're a nerd. We know you're a nerd. But that don't mean you got like, you know, go prancing around about it. I don't know. Why did I use the word prancing? I don't know.
Hey, you know what? Did you think that you were going to use the word prance in your podcast tonight? You know?
Never.
Yeah. And I would say on a respect level, like, I don't feel like I relate to her as a comic, but Chelsea Handler, her You Gonna Be Kidding Me special, well, she did a book. She wrote a book called You Gonna Be Kidding Me. And then she also did a special, like a Netflix special about it. And it was like, it was funny because I thought she would be kind of like talking, you know, kind of a lot of it would, you know, kind of go, be about, you know, stories from the book. But no, she was just kind of doing her own thing and telling stories and occasionally, you know, still talking about stories that she didn't include in her book. And it was just hilariously funny. And she's just, her audacity just blows my mind.
Yeah, she's pretty.
She's a character.
What you see is what you get.
Oh yes,
for sure. I've watched like a couple episodes of like her talk show too, and she's just she's very her.
Yeah, and she blatantly lies about things too, and I'm just like, she just does it, and like she has a little twinkle in her eye, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Hey, a little stretching the truth never hurt anyone.
Good point. That is very true. So
exactly. Yeah, I'd say I don't know. As pretty much like all young black males, I grew up watching Def Jam.
Yeah,
so like, you know, watching some of the, you know, old school greats like Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac. But then I really related to like that next generation. So it was like Chris Rock, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy was still hanging around. He wasn't doing as much stand-up, but he's still relevant at that time. And then, of course, when Dave Chappelle burst onto the scene.
Oh, yeah.
And Dave Chappelle is just getting to see him. Like, I saw him whenever he came here to Springfield. And it was magical. Like, that's literally one of the funniest comedians of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And dude still is doing it after 5 years or something, taking a break from just entertainment in general, and then him still being able to come back and kill it the way he did. It's awesome. Just awesome. And the Chappelle Show, one of the best sketch shows of all time. So, I mean, Dave Chappelle definitely, he has a couple stand-ups. He has Killing Him Softly, and he has Live at the Fillmore, and those are two fantastic stand-up pieces.
Cool.
And then with the modern day, like, I watch a shit ton of stand-up. Like, almost as much as I watch movies, I watch stand-up. Like, I love watching stand-up. But Aziz Ansari, one of my favorites, of course. Between Parks and... Well, I mean, I saw him on his stand-up before I found Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
I'd already seen, like, 2 of his stand-ups, and then I was like, oh, hey, he's in this show. And then I didn't know he was, like, a major character, too. So I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So it was, like, a win-win. But Aziz Ansari, he has 4 specials, and the first 3 of them are just... They're all perfect. Like, they're fantastic. The 4th one, he gets a little rambly, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But Aziz Ansari, and that's kind of the humor that I want to portray. Like, taking real situations, and I like the fast-talking delivery and, like, the way he tells stories. Like, that's kind of my similar brand of comedy, or at least what I try to be, at least.
I really do like truth in comedy. I probably about 3 years ago, there was a local comedian who tried to take me under his wing, and he, you know, I mean, he's a good, like, say TV comic in the sense that he, you know, had a lot of like family friendly. He was kind of promoting family friendly humor. Yeah. Not so much cussing, not so much swearing, not so much talking about, you know, whatever. But yeah, he tried to take me under his wing, and, you know, and there were some stories that I would kind of relay, because I like to, you know, kind of, I love, if you can find something humorous in a story that happened to you, I think to me that's like, you got to share that. Like, of course. Yeah. But he, you know, he was a real big fan of encouraging like tweaking and, you know, and exaggerating to the point where I was like, well, this didn't happen to me. This isn't my story anymore. So why am I, It's like I didn't like that. I didn't like this kind of promotion of. It's like he was like the humor's still there, but it's just
it's like exaggerate things when it's necessary,
exactly.
but at the same time, like if you that's what you're trying to brand yourself as, like this kind of real life relatable comedy,
right?
Then you got to be genuine about it.
Right.
Luckily for me, as you guys will find out and later on in story time, like luckily I don't have to make things up, because stories that happen in my life like don't happen to regular people. Like to me and Tyler, like some of the stories, like that's the reason I'm doing that segment at the end of every podcast, because I have way too many.
Oh yeah.
And as you guys will, I have a good one for the end of the show. But that's in the third segment. We still have to get to the second segment. Before that, I found Brownout.
Oh, yes.
Unfortunately, nothing about shit in your pants. It's apparently the phase right before blacking out.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you remember pieces. But then it also says like when you're sandwiched between periods of being clear to semi-clear recollection. So if like you're good 1 minute and then like not so good the next minute, I guess you are browning out.
That's browning out. Okay.
I still like mine better. I'm gonna add this to that.
I was gonna say, just
at some point. That's a thing, right? You can submit to that.
Yeah, of course you can.
Well, let's go ahead and get into the topic of today: storytelling in movies. All right, so whenever I approached you, Tess, about what we were going to talk about, and I told you, kind of how it worked and what type of movies to pick, the picks you gave me. So when you gave me Whip It at first, that was like, I was like, okay, I totally see that. I haven't seen that movie either, so I was going to watch that for the first time. Probably still will at some point this week that you reminded me about it. And then you said Memento, and that one threw me off because, like, I don't know, it just wasn't a pick I was expecting from you.
Okay.
But I was like, okay, cool, because I haven't seen that one yet either, so I need to watch Memento so that way I can finally cross off my list. But you said the reason you picked it was it open your mind up to possibilities in storytelling in movies, right?
Yes, absolutely. The thing about Memento that I really like is that it goes to show you that like presentation, it really like the way you tell a story. It just says a lot because the uniqueness of having that movie be backwards, quote unquote. If you had watched it the normal way, for lack of a better phrase, where it was in the right order, it would have been a completely different movie, and it would have impacted everyone differently than it did. Like for me, how it did when I watched it, how it was. So, because it just takes you on this interesting journey. You're rooting for this character, and you want. It's a typical revenge story, but it's told in a
so not typical.
Yeah, it is so not typical, and it's also. And it really, you start to realize, near the end, how unreliable of a character Leonard Shelby is. And that's an interesting thing to kind of, play with. You see that a lot in stories. Like when, I major in creative writing, short fiction at college, and, an unreliable narrator is, anyone who's crazy or someone who would have a different motivation. And so you start to realize like how unreliable he is. And really he's a menace to society. He's dangerous. Like it's crazy how you see that evolution throughout the movie.
Yeah, totally get what you mean. Yeah. From the writing that went into the script by Christopher Nolan, he adapted it from a book, or it was a short story, I think, and he adapted this, and it's such an interesting concept, and it was very important that the movie was told in this fashion with the reverse chronological shooting or whatever, is because honestly, like, if I took the scenes and put them in order and like think about what that movie would look like, I honestly probably wouldn't care.
Yeah,
you wouldn't really care about that character and his journey because you don't really. You find out as the movie goes along, you start rooting for him a little bit less as the movie goes, and then it all connected so well, and it's just kind of one of those movies that, like you said, that presentation like matters in a movie.
It really does, and it's and what I like about it is that it's still, there are two kind of stories that you sort of see, or maybe I don't want to say two stories. It's sort of like vignettes. Like each person he's with is another vignette of his life that he's never going to remember. And and
then having that one through line scene that was like in black and white the whole time, and then showing that the timelines finally meet up, and then putting that scene in color, and then I was like, Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, and it's, it's funny because, it kind of goes back to the whole rooting for thing. It's like we wouldn't root for him if we knew, he has, anterograde amnesia and he's going to kill this man and set himself up for, for future him to kill this man. Like that's, the things that. Like,
yeah. Sorry, guys. Spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I always mean to put it at the beginning of the topic conversation to be like, we're probably going to talk spoilers. We did it last week too. Yeah. It's pretty much always going to be spoilers, but forgot to mention at the beginning, spoilers for a 16-year-old movie, so it doesn't really matter.
If you haven't seen it already, by the way.
I'm glad that I somehow managed to avoid the twist the entire time. Like, I knew about the film structure of it because, like, all my nerdy movie friends talk about it and stuff. So it's like I knew what the premise of the movie, but I managed to avoid the twist. So I was real happy about that because it was a nice reveal. It was very satisfying. There was just something missing in the movie. I don't know what, because I didn't love it, but I really did like it, and I admire the ambition. Yeah. Because whether a good movie or a bad movie, like, I will always admire ambition if you're trying new things. Yes. And not that it was new, but it was something not used often, and he improved on it.
He sure did, yeah. Well, and it wasn't like, it's not like a Tarantino movie where Tarantino, I love Tarantino. I'm a huge Tarantino fan, but when it comes to him playing with the timeline,
the nonlinear timeline,
he's not. I feel like he kind of draws attention to himself. Yeah. So it's not in a bad way. I don't think it's like. I mean, it's like.
Tarantino does try to be the star of his films, which it works, which I'm glad he does. Yeah, I absolutely love Tarantino, but I get exactly what you're saying.
So I feel like in a way it was, I felt like what I liked about it was that it was an artistic portrayal, and it really goes to show you that, if you take a story and you even told it in reverse, that it's going to have a completely different story, which I thought was cool. Like, that's an interesting, unique way to to tell a story. It's like, it's not like it's like I said, I had watched it forwards, that's the thing. The problem is, sorry, I am all over the place. So
you're fine.
I think there's something missing. I don't know, and maybe there's something else missing for you, but it is. I think we as movie watchers, moviegoers, cinema fanatics, we like characters that we can kind of either root for, we can fall in love with, or that we can relate to. And the problem is Leonard Shelby's not someone we can relate to. I mean, we could on the revenge level, but then when we found out that revenge level was taken away, in essence, kind of manufactured by himself, it's hard to, like there's nothing tying the audience to the main character.
True, because we kind of lose that connection by the end of the movie. But no, I really liked it. A very good performance by Guy Pearce. Very understated for sure, because when most people talk about this movie, they obviously talk about the writing, the directing, the cinematography. Yes. But people forget to mention, like, Guy Pearce, this movie doesn't work without that performance on him, because it's very subtle, like all the little things to where you believe that he has this disease, or not disease, this injury, this handicap. You really believed it, and like the all the little subtleties on the way his character manages his memories, the rules he kind of has, like with the no talking on the phone, must make eye contact, like all these little intricacies. So the movie doesn't work without Guy Pearce's performance. So that was actually the highlight of the movie for me. Shit, what was I gonna say? I did notice like all the little hints towards the twist, because they do hint at the twist.
They do. You're right.
There's a scene, and then it's painfully obvious. They kind of pull a Fight Club, which will be the next movie we talk about. But they kind of pull a Fight Club with the flashing of the image. Yeah. So when Sam Jenkins is in and then he's like looking at the doctor, and the doctor passes him for a second, it changes into Leonard. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, so that's what this he made up, or not made up the Sam Jenkins story, but like it was actually him.
He like transferred it.
Transferred it, and that was crazy. Like I really like that reveal.
That was
because, like you said, the unreliable narrator. That's what I was gonna get to. Yeah. So speak of unreliable narrators, have you watched Mr. Robot? You need to, because you will absolutely love it.
I've been hearing.
I wish I would have watched Memento before I started watching Mr. Robot, because Mr. Robot draws a lot of inspiration from Fight Club, but now I see the Memento inspirations as well.
Yes.
And now I'm going to go back and rewatch Mr. Robot now. If you're not familiar with the premise of Mr. Robot, I love talking about this, so we're going to get sidetracked for a sec.
Yeah, that's okay.
Mr. Robot he's a vigilante hacker. So he works for a computer security company, but at night he like hacks people, but he like hacks like bad people and then like blackmails them and shit.
Cool.
So the first season is he gets together with this group of hackers and they're gonna try to hack into like the biggest like corporation in the world, and they're erasing credit card debt.
Oh.
And so that's the first season, him and these hackers. Problem is though, the main character, played wonderfully by Rami Malek, he's like schizophrenic, he's crazy, he's like depressed, and like you find out there's a big Fight Club-esque twist at the end of the first season. But every episode is like a movie. It's like a 50-minute movie. Like it has such cool scores. It has
Neat.
It has some John Carpenter inspiration in there, but now I see the inspiration from Memento in it. And he's like the most unreliable narrator. So it's really good. So I advise you pick up Mr. Robot.
Oh, I will definitely check it out.
But anyway, so then to my pick for this kind of unique storytelling topic that we're talking about in film, the first movie that opened my eyes up to those type of possibilities was Fight Club. Fight Club is another movie featuring a very unreliable narrator, and that's his name. There is no name for him. I mean, people call him Jack, but that's technically not his name. But Fight Club. And that was the first time I'd watched a movie where, foreshadowing and twists and the visual aspect that Fincher had with, placing the flashes of Tyler Durden. Also, spoilers for Fight Club coming up.
Yes.
But, showing the flashes and showing the parallels between the narrator and Tyler Durden. And I mean, the first time I watched it, the twist blew my mind. The second time I was like, why the fuck was I so stupid and not see this before?
Yeah.
Because that, the narrator, that Tyler Durden is his alter ego. Twist. Spoiler. You're welcome. Whatever. The second time, once I rewatched it, so I think the second time I watch Memento, I'll probably enjoy it even more. Because I remember the second time of watching Fight Club, I was like, oh my God, I see everything. Like it was laid out so plainly in front of you, you just didn't know it.
Right, yeah.
And that's visual storytelling, and that's Fight Club, and those were both released within a year of each other.
You're right, yeah.
So 1999 for Fight Club, then 2000 for Memento. Like those were two huge movies in the field of visual storytelling for movies, and they were game changers.
They were.
So they're
intelligent. They're both really smart movies, which I appreciate. That's kind of something I feel like it's not nearly as encouraged in movies of today. Like, they're out there, but it's just they're not.
There's smart movies out there, but here's the difference though between like smart movies now and smart movies like Memento and Fight Club is they didn't treat the audience. They don't treat the audience like you're stupid.
Yeah, that's
true. They trust that you can piece things together, that you don't need everything spelled out for you, and that you can keep up. They trust the audience. They don't think you're stupid. Nowadays, you'll have a smart movie and it'll have like a really good concept and a highly intelligent movie, and then there'll be a twist at the end that like negates everything from the movie because they were like, oh, we thought you might have been too confused or something like that. They pander to the audience because they are trying to make money, so of course
true,
they don't take the chances that they were taking back then. But Fight Club and Memento, just two very important movies in cinema in general, but specifically in visual storytelling. Yeah, so thanks for picking that movie, because like I said, it was a movie that I needed to get off my list that I've been meaning to watch for a long time, so finally had a good reason to watch it. Now, it was a very rewarding watch, for sure.
Yeah. Actually, I was happy because I first saw it when I was in high school. I took a films class, and my teacher showed us that movie. And and so I mean, I really was lucky at 17 getting to watch this movie that just blew my mind. So
yeah, those are both movies that like are taught a lot in colleges, you know, in film schools, and you know all sorts of, or even just regular language arts classes. So yeah, just showing you the impact that those two movies made on visual storytelling in cinema. So to get into the last segment of the show, this is story time. I want to come up with a better name for this segment. I can't come up with one, but I feel like as the show goes on, at some point
you'll come up with something.
Like, do you have any ideas? Because it needs to be something clever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because story time just sounds so bland.
I can see where you're coming from on that.
It's a very vanilla segment title.
Yeah.
Trying to spice that shit up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
but
maybe you can get some followers and have the followers
exactly.
But at the
same time,
I
hope it's discovered like while we're recording a show.
That would be cool, like
just
a little
off the top
moment.
of somebody's. Exactly. I want to catch that moment in audio form.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, well, I hope that happens. That would be. I'm sure I'll think of it like at 2:30 in the morning tomorrow, and I'll be like, damn it!
I want it to happen live. I want the magic.
Yeah.
All right. So, but sticking with the theme of today, so Memento, Fight Club, these very twisty, turny movies that have you guessing, and sometimes after the first time you watch it, you don't get it fully, and you're just kind of confused.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the theme of today's stories. Will be stories that just kind of left you puzzled. Did you want me to go first, or did you want to go first?
I mean, I can go first, yeah.
All right, go for it.
Yeah. For me, when I was 18, I worked I lived up in St. Louis in Kirkwood. And I worked at a Barnes & Noble as a cafe barista or barista. I don't know what the terminology is, but, and it was an interesting, the thing about, we kind of experience this as breakfast servers, but people watching. I really enjoy people watching. And especially when you're making someone's coffee, it is like, that's like the best kind of people watching, because you get that, grande, non-fat, no foam, 1-pump mocha, made with soy milk, woman. And
I know you got 3 kids in your minivan right now.
Right. Yeah, things like that, where it's like, I know you're a socialite and you're bored, and that's, whatever. And so it was just fantastic people watching. You get to make people's coffees, sometimes they just wanted regular old coffee. Sometimes they wanted a mocha frappuccino, whatever it was. And but the thing that was interesting was the Barnes & Noble we were at, that I worked at, I should say, was right by a bus stop. And that bus stop, like that, I don't know how or where, but we would get people who were kind of little touched in the head. They were not on medication. They were mentally ill. And I mean that with, of course, the most respect, but, so we occasionally would have a woman who would, I kid you not, she would just go around to all the male patrons in the little cafe area, asking if, they could give her a ride in exchange for, handies and things like that. Yeah. And so we have to chase her out.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Was she old? Was an old prostitute?
She was an old prostitute.
Oh, God.
It was weird. She was like, I would see her around, around town, and it was weird. Like, she'd be gone for months at a time, and then she'd be back, and then she'd be gone. But it was, I'm guessing she was like, she maybe had family who would find her, and then they'd bring her back home, or maybe put her on meds. I don't know what.
Oh, God.
So that was one, kind of instance. And then there was like a woman who was just yelling Bible passages at people, and I'm like, nope, you gotta go.
Oh, go away.
Yeah. And then there was this one day, this man, I never knew he was mentally ill until this day. He he came in, he always seemed aloof, but he never really seemed
just like kind of off.
Yeah, just kind of like, yeah. I was like,
something's not right, but whatever.
Yeah, he'd always come in. He'd get a cup of coffee, a grande cup of coffee was $2. He always had that figured out. And there was this one day I was working, and he came and ordered his coffee, and someone had left a receipt from the previous transaction, and he wanted a pen, and I gave him one, and he writes something down, and then he says to me, "I'm getting a new spaceship. Would you like my old one?" And I was like, I look at him, and I'm like, yes, I do. And he hands.
What did he write down?
What he wrote down was the make and model of the spaceship. It was a Zoyan 1540, Zoian. I've looked it up, and there's nothing there's nothing connecting. I've looked it up online. I was like, I'm curious, is it connected to something?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And he's like, he's going on about how he's like, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm getting a new spaceship. It's like there's nothing wrong with my old one. He's like, it tends to pull to the left like a shopping cart. I've had it inspected. There's nothing. Yeah. He actually said that. There's nothing wrong with it structurally. I've had it inspected. It just tends to pull to the left like a shopping cart. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not going to complain. And then he left. And
did you ever see him again?
I did, and we never talked about it again.
Oh my god, he was like, that's kind of scary.
It was so
just
trippy.
Like, wait, so like, think about this right now. this story, this theory, like how cuckoo Cocoa Puffs this dude is in the head. Like, this is such a layered craziness.
I know.
Like, so not only he comes up with the spaceships.
Yes, the spaceship. Mm-hmm.
The make and model and everything.
Yep.
Then he says he's had it inspected. So this says that there's a world of spaceships in which they need somebody to have their profession is to inspect spaceships.
Yeah.
So that's how big this is already.
I know.
There's so many spaceships out in the world being traded and bought and sold that we don't even know about, apparently.
Yeah. And he apparently is in a good financial place and he can
he's
afford
in
a new one.
financial place to get a new one.
And just give away his old one.
And just give away his other one. Nothing wrong with it that he got it checked. It's just like, when
just
comparing it to something as mundane as a squeaky wheel on a shopping cart, this is wow.
I
man.
know. It was I
want some of whatever this guy had 20 years ago.
Right?
His brain is melted.
Oh man, that was the best day. I remember just like telling everyone I'm getting a new spaceship, guys. They were like,
oh man.
Yeah. And actually I want to say maybe a week or two later I was watching the news and NASA was actually selling a spaceship. That was the thing that was even weirder. I was like,
oh man. What if this guy was in one of those hidden NASA trips that they never talked about? He was a NASA mission that
maybe that failed, and maybe that's why his brain's fried.
It failed, and they were trying to cover it up. They sent this dude to Uranus. They sent him there, and he came back a changed man. But NASA didn't want to tell nobody about this.
Nope.
But he's going around talking about spaceships, and people are just like, shut up, you fucking crazy kook. And he's like, no. He's like, I just bought a new one.
I trust you.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So is this guy crazy or not?
I mean, I would say so, but who knows?
Who are we to say?
I mean, I Googled it, and no one broke down my door. I never got approached by the CIA, so I'm thinking it's probably...
No person in a suit and sunglasses, nothing?
As far as I know.
Okay.
Maybe I'll come home and my phone will be bugged, but I don't know.
Oh, man, I should have went first because your story is better than mine. And mine's a pretty good one, too. I'm whipping out one of my good ones.
Okay.
I do have a good prostitute story for a future time.
Yes.
It's a real good one. But this one, so in Springfield, to inform the listeners who are not from Springfield.
Yes.
So there are homeless people everywhere, correct?
Yes.
But Springfield homeless people are not like other Springfield homeless people. They're another breed. They're a whole different species. And we call them the Bogans. This is not like a derogatory term. It's just kind of what they are. Yeah. Like, and you know one when you see one. If you're from Springfield, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is my first big encounter with a Bogan, because I'd been working at Bears so I started to work at Bears almost 3 years ago, and I'd only been there for a couple months. So this is like 2.5 years ago. And I'm closing with another bartender. And we are completely closed. His name's Justin. Some facts about him for later in the story is Justin is about 6'4", 215 pounds, and has 2 black belts.
Whoa.
Remember this fact.
Oh my gosh.
Remember this fact. Oh, don't worry. Don't get your hopes up because those black belts aren't used. Spoiler alert. So we're closing up. We're done. We're like, we have the place locked up. We have been locked up for like an hour. He's counting the drawers. I'm done. Like, we're about to get the fuck out of here. I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, no.
So I go to the bathroom, and I walk in there. The stall door is shut, and I see a pair of feet in the stall.
Oh.
I don't say a word. I just back out of the bathroom. I can't back up, right? I'm trying to do it as I tell a story, but I need to talk into the mic. But, so I back out of the bathroom ever so slowly. I look at Justin, I, like, kind of whisper. I'm like, Justin. And he's like, what? I'm like, shh. I was like, there's somebody in there. And he was like, what? And I was like, there's somebody in there. And he's like, what do you mean? We've been locked up for like an hour. I was like, I just shrugged my shoulders at him. And he was like, well, get him out. Remember how big I told you Justin was?
Yes.
I am 6'2", 170 pounds. I don't know where it is. Like, I am not Justin. Why do I gotta get him out? I'd never shy away from a fight. Everyone knows this. Like, I'm ready to, tussle. But I was just like, why though? Why? I don't wanna.
It's like, you could do it.
So I go into the bathroom and I was like, hey, we're closed. You gotta get out. And the door opens super slowly.
Oh no.
And it's the guy is about 5'6".
Oh my God.
He's very round-ish. You've seen Sweeney Todd, right?
Yes.
Think of Beetle Bamford.
Okay.
But bald.
Oh God.
And he was like kind of tan. He's like mixed. He's kind of black.
Mm-hmm.
And he just looks spooked out of his mind. His eyes are so big like a raccoon.
Oh my God.
And he just kind of looks at me. Doesn't say a word. And I was just like, hey, we're closed. Now, he walks out of the bathroom. I get some deja vu. I saw this guy in Bears like 2 hours prior. And then we thought he was just coming in to use the bathroom and then leave. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess he didn't leave.
Oh my God.
So I was like, shit, this guy's been in there for like 2 hours. Like, he was trying to stay the night.
Oh my gosh.
And then so I'm walking him out, and he starts walking towards the kitchen door. And I was like, no. I was like, go out the other way. Keep going. And then he was like, can I get a cup of water? And I was like, fine. This was before I learned not to like give them things.
Yes, yeah.
So I was like, fine. Rookie mistake. And I get this water, and I'm like going towards the kitchen doors. He's like, keeps on walking. I was like, no. You stay out here. I'm going to get the water. I tell him to stay there. He like stays there. I get the water. I turn around, and he is standing in the doorway, and it like scares the shit out of me. And I was like,
God.
I was like, yo, get out of here. Get out of here. Back up. And he's like reaching for the water, and I'm like, back up, and I'll hand it to you. Like, it was real creepy.
Ooh.
Things were starting to get weird. And then, so I'm leading him towards the doors, and he starts walking towards the other set of kitchen doors. I'm like, no, man, that's not the exit. Go out this way. So there's 2 doors, to get into Bears. So he walks out the first set of doors, and then he starts going for the second set, turns around, and then starts walking at me again.
What?
And he like comes back in. I got my fist balled at this point. Like, I'm ready. I'm like, I'm done with this shit.
And
I want to go
where's
home.
Justin in all this?
Exactly. Where the fuck is Justin? His 2 black belts, nowhere to be found.
Wow.
I got my fist balled up. I'm ready to drop him. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready. Because he starts walking towards me again. I go, don't take another step, man. I was like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I was being nice. I wasn't playing any more games. I was like, get out of here, man. And so he like puts his hands up, like, hands up, don't shoot. Too soon?
No.
Okay, good. So he starts walking out the doors, and then he turns around, and like I told you, I don't think he's blinked this entire encounter. He's got these wide raccoon eyes, and he just looks at me. So stone-faced. This is when I wish this was a video podcast, because you have to see my face, but he just looks at me and goes, your skin is black, but your white is present. And then he scurries out the door. And when I say scurries, like, it's exactly what you're thinking. He scurried.
Wow.
And I was just stunned. I was just like, what the fuck? I was so confused.
I mean, it's like...
I've never seen him again.
Good.
I go into the office, and Justin's like, is he gone? I was like, yeah, he's fucking gone. You're taking me home.
Yeah.
And he was just like, everything good? And I was like, no. I was like, where the fuck were you? He's like, I thought you had it handled. I was like, yeah, I handled it all right, but oh my God.
I want to know why he kept going to the kitchen. Like, was he?
I guess probably trying to get some food or something. I guess that was I think his plan was to stay in the stall and sleep overnight. Yeah. And then
get some food.
Go get some food. I think that's what his plan was. But oh my God, he was so creepy.
Yeah.
This face.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen him again, but I would know if I did. Like, one of those faces, like...
Was he like, could you tell if he was on drugs or did he look
No, he was not on drugs.
No,
like,
okay.
I know when they're on drugs, but no, he was not on drugs. He was just...
Something, yeah, he was...
a fucking creeper, I don't know.
That's creepy as
to this
hell.
day, one of just the most weirdest stories I've ever had.
That is weird.
So,
He said you're black, but you're white as present?
Your skin is black, but you're white as present.
What?
Like, it's like, yeah, I'm light-skinned. Everyone knows I'm mixed. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not a secret, man.
But it's just like...
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
I saw that face in my dreams for a month. Like,
I don't blame you. That's terrifying.
It was real creepy.
That's just... Ugh.
Whew. I'd say that's a good note to end the show on. Yeah, no, shit gets weird. My life is weird. I told you guys, like, that's why I'm doing this segment, because shit's
weird.
Shit's weird.
We all have weird shit in our lives.
Hashtag shit's weird. Hashtag make Mondays dope.
Make Mondays dope.
And that will do it for this episode of Deezus Take the Reel. This is my podcast, talking movies, talking life, usually with friends, sometimes by myself because Lenny can't talk into the mic. So that will wrap up this week's show. Thank you so much, Tess Devine, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Tess, what would you like to plug? Where can the people find you?
People can find me on the internet, on Facebook. Look me up. You can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @TessDevine, which is, if it's my name, so it won't be hard to forget. Or won't be hard to whatever. I don't know. I think I may have flipped that around, but okay. Whatever. Yeah. And I also have a blog. You can. It's What About the Alchemy. So it's whataboutthealchemy.com. I'm currently not doing really a whole lot of improv or stand up, just because I'm focusing on school. But if I do, you can Twitter and Facebook will tell you when I'm doing a show next. So.
All right, and you guys know where to find me at Deezus12, Deezus 12 on Twitter, Instagram, but there's a dot in between Deezus and 12 because some fucker won't give me my handle. And yeah, you can find me there, and then you can find me on YouTube at Deezus Live, where I review movies, rant about movies, and other shenanigans. So yeah, be subscribed to the podcast, episodes every Tuesday morning, and follow me on YouTube as well. The podcast will be there, as well as all the other of my stuff. And that will do it. Thank you again one more time, Tess Devine, at Tess Devine on Twitter. And that will do it for this week's Deezus Take the Reel. I'll see you next week, motherfuckers.